The realest, best podcast in the game.
How's everybody doing?
I'm a little tired. My legs hurt.
That's about it.
I'll be specific.
It's been a long day. I had a field day at work.
Oh, what does a field day look like at your job?
So they
'Cause
had
we also had field days.
This is
big,
the job he was
beer
at,
pong
right?
things. Huh?
This isn't the job he was at, right? With your mother? This is another one?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they had so they brought out drinks. We had a food truck. We had an ice cream truck. They had big beer pong things set up, cornhole and stuff. They messaged us at noon and they was like, come on to the break room. I said, oh, okay. So I didn't work for 6 hours today.
Yeah, sounds like you had fun.
I did.
I thought the field day was like taxing.
No, it was come take a break. I said in bed.
Yeah, we also had field day today at my job. But,
Oh, really?
I'm a teacher,
for the kids. You had a
it's
real
field day for them, and we have to still be in charge of them. So it's their Super Bowl, and it's our Super Bowl for the people who work in the merchandise jersey selling stores.
Oh,
which means it sucks. Yeah.
Is field day one of those terms that's problematic we should stop saying or no?
Probably at its root, sure, but I'm not going to.
I've literally never thought about it like that in my entire life.
I actually kind of made a joke similar to that today. A fairer skinned young lady was trying not to participate in something, and I was like, "It's field day. Go field." I know your people not used to that. They used to.
Oh, jeez.
To a child?
Oh, 7th grade.
Oh, come on,
my God. That is a kid.
Y'all don't hear the things 7th graders say to 7th graders or to me.
I can guarantee you, I know exactly where that school is and the area it is in. So I know for a fact those kids are hilarious. So all they do is roast Joan. We don't give about none of that.
Oh my
That's a
God.
fact.
Just like that.
Yeah. Field days should be banned or something. Or teachers need to be having field day in the week of Teacher Appreciation Week just feels
That's
oxymoronical.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
It just feels like
Don't give me.
we appreciate you.
Do some
So
work.
handle kids at their rowdiest and wildest. And thank you for all you do. Underpaid and underserved, but we appreciate you. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it is Teacher Appreciation Week.
So that's a plus. You know?
Yeah, they've been serving food every day, and we got a gift card at the top of the week.
Okay.
Before any other teachers or paras or anybody who works in the academic field watches this and is like, what? The school I go to, the school I work at has a, how do I put this? Better culture than most schools. So when you're sitting there and you're like, we didn't get a gift card, and they threw muffins at us on Wednesday. Yeah, that's just not how things operate where I work. Granted, pizza was cold yesterday, brick cold, hard to bite into.
Okay.
Cold.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay.
But not complaining. I'm a little bit.
It sounds like you're complaining.
But that's a very complainable offense. You gonna give me cold pizza? Did you just take this out the fridge?
That's what I'm saying. Where did you have to get that from for it to still be cold?
Well, I watched the Papa John's man leave the property, so I really don't understand why.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That is wild.
But tis his life. Parking has also been more difficult because the faculty parking lot is one of the stations for the field day activities. So we have to park all the way
They don't like
down
you guys
the street.
for real.
Come on. This is during Appreciation Week. This is really wild.
Really dirty.
Pretty intense. Today was definitely the most intense day. I just kept saying over and over again, I can't believe they expect us to come into work tomorrow. This is Friday. I'm not coming in. Why would you drain all the energy out of me and then be like, see you bright and early, 7:30? No, you won't. But yeah, that's
But in the spirit of competition, you're at least having a good time watching some of these
Oh, I definitely. I didn't think I would care, but I definitely like cared about like my class doing well.
Okay.
Specifically in sports that like basketball, like I got really into
Put them
it.
pom poms out.
Calm down.
Give me your edge.
The class that I work with primarily, they're like in the 3v3 basketball games. They made it first point wins. And our boys came in first place and our girls came in first place.
Ooh, okay.
And,
Okay.
Yeah, I was definitely, doing my laps around the gym.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson celebration. Jamal Murray celebrate. Nobody hit a three. But all 3-point celebrations though. Just every single 3-point emote in 2K definitely got done. But sometimes I also just didn't care. They were doing certain activities. I just was like, who cares who won the sack race? Get out of my face. But like the track and field stuff, basketball stuff, and tug of war definitely was pretty lit. The dodgeball game was literally what I was most looking forward to, but they ran out of time.
Oh,
come on.
That's wild.
Didn't do dodgeball. But
Dodgeball gotta get done.
Man.
yeah.
Without the teachers
Push
only.
it over. What time they leave? We gonna go right until like 10 minutes. They'll love the chaos.
Yeah, gonna pick your kid up if he get hit. Do it like that.
You gotta stay here overnight.
That's
With the
crazy.
janitors.
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh.
But yeah, welcome to the YSO Podcast. Podcast for the youth. By the youth.
If you
I
want
hate
to.
it.
So I have
don't
a
even know why I
question.
did that. You
How
know?
long can we say that and be truthful?
About
That it's by the youth. Because we're getting kind of old. I'm just saying.
But we're only
Till
like
life.
25. Well, you're 26,
Yeah.
turning 27.
You still think
You're getting
youth?
up there.
I very much am.
I think
Youth is
I-
fully encompassing of young adults as well, because we are still young adults.
Yeah.
We're not elderly.
But I'm saying,
That's why
I
I say
think-
youth and young adults.
I don't know if I identify myself as a young adult, but I do
It's
think.
because of how old you are up here.
No, I don't even think it's that. I've always like, I have different milestones that like mean certain things. I've always been like, if you can rent a car, you're a real adult, and I'm about to be at that age in like 2 months, less than 1 month.
yeah.
But
literally.
the reason why the
1
age
month.
specifically
Oh my
is that
God.
age
Like,
is
literally.
because of
Yeah.
Yeah.
the simple fact that it's easier to target younger people with certain stipulations.
Well, yeah, for sure. But that's why I don't feel like a young adult. Like, turning into 25, I just feel like, yeah, you're probably just a full-time adult.
Yeah.
But I think you can be an adult and be youth if you're young enough. I just think old adults. I think if you're an adult, but you're not old, you can consider yourself youth.
I feel like the average person doesn't even fully mature until they're like 22 to 23. Like, especially here. I don't
That
know
might be
about
the
other
case,
countries.
but I don't think
But-
maturation has anything to do with like if you're young. I just think
That is true. But I mean, physically and biologically,
I
at
think
this
25
age,
is the age where your brain is fully developed.
yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
say.
Wait, for who? For men or women?
Both.
For both.
Like,
I
on
don't think that's
average,
the
you're
same
first-
age for men and women.
Why
I think
not?
it's prob- I think it's probably maybe 25 for maybe women. It's probably like
46.
I set that up. I set that up. I was gonna say like 28.
46.
This is
I mean, it's not like
crazy.
she don't have a point, but yeah. I mean,
Why is the gap a person who can buy a drink? Like, 21 years? Like,
That is wild.
I mean, but let's be honest.
But yeah, not like physically. Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean to
you
cut you off. But like physically, like I definitely, even though my coworkers, both of them, one is 52, so he don't count. But the other one is a year younger than my brother. So, but he suffers from just a lot of stuff, just because he's a bit chubbier and he just not very athletic. So there's certain things that he just can't do the same. And it's just like he got knees of a 55-year-old man.
Oh.
And his back ain't what it used to be. So like me personally, physically, I still feel very, very young. Like I know I can do a lot of things that I could do back when I was a teenager.
Mhm.
Not everything, you know what I'm saying? Like I played basketball for like 3 games a few weeks ago, and I was in the first game I was dead. I ended up catching like a second win, but like after running up and down the court for like at least 5 to 10 minutes, I was like, yo, I can't breathe. And I don't know if it was because of the pollen count that day and my asthma messing up, or if it was actually my stamina. But I was like, yo, I'm gonna die on this place that I'm here in right now. But I was like, after a while, I kind of got through it. But that happens a lot now, having like, I don't want to say increased asthma, but for some reason, as I got older, my asthma came back. And like, so like when I work out now, there's like a phase where it's very hard for me to breathe. Not very hard, but it's like I have a slight wheeze and I can feel like I'm having shortness of breath, but then I forget about it because it stops after like the first 10 minutes of me doing anything. So like that's, once I get to the end of my workout, I have forgotten that it even happened. I only remember it after, like when it happens again, I'm like, oh, this is that time. But like for the most part, the people I see, it's like when comparing myself to like the younger kids that I meet on this campus or whatever, like if I just strike up a conversation with one of them, it's just like, even though I'm a bit older, because for the most part, I've worked with like, I want to say like 10 to 12 temps that were all younger than me. Some were still, one was 19, one was 18, you know what I'm saying? Some were like 22, 24, like in that age range. So like we've got a lot of people, but it's like mentally for most of them, I would say there's a few of them that were like, you know, mentally fully mature, obviously. Some of them were a little bit behind the curve just because that's the genes they was dealt. It's unfortunate. But like physically, I feel like when you think about youth, like I don't know the definition of youth, but when I think about youth, I think maybe I can say up to, I say 33.
I say 27.
27?
Yeah.
I don't think after 27.
Yeah, we're
'cause
definitely wrong.
What?
Youth, by definition, is the period between childhood and adult age.
Okay, so that's childhood to 18.
Yeah.
Why you on Yahoo? Get over.
So question for y'all.
This
Does
Miriam
that
himself.
change it for certain countries?
This is
the
Oxford.
legal age of an adult is different
That's
in certain
true.
countries. So like,
I see youth as I'll say it's more based off the status of your life right now. Because like honestly, if I feel like if I was the same age, I'm 25. If I was the same age, but like I had like a wife and kids and like my own house and like I was in my career field and all these, like I wouldn't consider myself youth. It's not really about the age.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Actually, yeah.
But right now I still eat cereal that's not healthy. Like I eat like Fruit Loops and stuff. Like come on, you can't be. I'm not like
You can't be a grown up and eat
like-
Fruit Loops.
No, you gotta eat like Honey
Very
Bunches
much
of Oats and stuff. Like you gotta eat like the healthier
Yeah,
ones.
you
Raisin
Raisin
Bran.
Bran.
Yeah, you gotta eat those.
I started eating Honey Bunches of Oats
Crazy.
last year.
Oh, you getting it?
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
showing signs.
yeah,
You
yeah,
showing
yeah,
signs.
Push
Christian
it up
started
on you quick.
a long time ago. I ain't gonna lie. Christian started, I feel like
Christian been old for a long time.
He
too.
See?
has been, but
See, anything
Emmanuel?
that if plenty of fiber on the back of the cereal, all that type of stuff is healthy to help your digestive system. You getting up there. I eat. You know
I
what
just
I'm
feel
saying?
like
Frosted
those-
Flakes.
I feel like those are decisions and not conditions, though.
very much.
Like, I think the conditions of your life can speak to your youthfulness, but, well, I guess decisions should too. Because, like,
Yeah,
if
definitely
you
decisions.
if you were married and had kids and were in your career
You would
field,
make
you probably
different
shouldn't
decisions.
pop out every weekend the way we do.
Come on.
You should probably, like, go to your son's basketball game and your daughter's piano
and
recital.
then
Yeah,
go
it's
to
true.
bed. Yeah.
Yeah, go to bed early too.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
not.
wake
I
up.
never went to bed early a day in my life unless it was by accident. Like
Nah, that's crazy.
Definitely don't ever plan to
Yeah,
go to
that's
sleep
funny.
early. Matter of fact, I
That's
wake
crazy.
up the next morning, like, traumatized.
Nah, that's wild. I had to,
what did they do to me? Start looking in the mirror at body parts and making sure I don't see no
What was in that McDonald's? Let me tell you. They put a little something extra in there, didn't they?
nah,
They didn't hit me with the okie doke.
Oh
Oh,
my
Bill?
God.
Please.
really,
Y'all are stupid.
I didn't really start going to sleep on a schedule until I started working this job for real. Because
How early you get up?
I had to get up at 6.
Mm,
Because it's
yeah.
30 minutes from my crib, so I had to leave by
You kinda gotta
6:30 to get there
prioritize
before
that.
7.
Yep. Yep.
So I wake up. I have 2 alarms. One is at 5:28, and the next one is at 6:12, I think. Because I
We
try.
already talked about this before.
We have, and I know what else you're thinking. Why are they so specific numbers? And I told you because in my head, I don't want to have a specific number in my head because I'm going to be thinking about the number a lot. I don't always fall back asleep immediately, and the more I think, the more I stay up. And there's times where I'm like, it's been about 5 minutes. It's been about 10 minutes. It's been about, okay, I know in this
That makes
time
sense.
I'm gonna be waking up, and I'm usually right. So I don't like knowing, okay, it's exactly 20, it's exactly 25.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So I think, what time do I want to leave by? I want to leave by 6:30. So for me, the half was 15 minutes is enough for me to get ready, but I just take it back a little bit, so that way
You can't lose.
I got 10 minutes to get ready, and then make sure I get out from 6:22 to 6:30. It's the time range I want to get out. And the 5:28 is just cause it's so I don't have specific 30 minutes.
How many times you been late?
A good amount, but like we don't start.
I was
we don't
really
start
with him.
doing
I was with
anything-
him.
We don't start doing anything until 8 o'clock. So like being late is just not being on time before we get out and go to the trucks.
Oh, okay.
So,
So it's not
like,
detrimental to anything.
Yeah, no. My boss, he doesn't like folks being late, but it was. He didn't tell us to show up on time until he wanted to fire somebody else, and he was
kinda
like,
shysty.
he coming
Why are
after
y'all
y'all.
telling me this? Y'all already said he gonna miss games 3 through 5. I know he missing game 3.
Who?
Chris Paul.
Oh yeah, they cooked.
Dang.
What's
Left
actually?
groin strain.
Why do you know that?
I don't know why I have the ESPN app on my phone.
I was about to say, yo, nigga done set notifications. What?
Why we like this?
That wasn't even Chris Paul on there. I seen it. That wasn't even.
Yo.
Somebody else got it.
Hold on. Did you know what the injury was?
It just said it on the notification.
That's crazy.
She got the
I was about to say, nah, she got whoa. Just texting
Yeah,
me.
oh my god, that was crazy.
You be betting on games, you be taking over.
Yeah, that's what clearly. Now she got a parlay.
She know the lingo.
It's actually we ended up in that whole tangent because I was trying to do the intro. Oh, so I'm gonna get back to that. Welcome again to the YSO Podcast for the youth, by the youth, being the voice of the youth by giving a voice to the youth, for the youth, by the youth, all the youth, or maybe not. Maybe we old. Who cares?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I really don't care at all.
And you see me, and you see my
I'll
two
be young till I'm
co-hosts
36.
to my left, but you see a new face.
Till folks to say that to me, I'm young.
Oh my gosh.
Terrible metric. Anyways, you see a new face to the left of me. So before we get into our normal introductions, give a great YSO welcome to our guest for this episode. Do you want to go by your stage name or your regular
You
name?
can give me any of the nickname, any of it don't matter.
You gonna introduce yourself?
Oh, okay, cool. I'll say all of them then.
Don't.
I'll say all my nicknames. Say
Pick
all my
one.
niggas, I don't know what they know me by. You know what I'm saying? They might
don't know
They,
you.
I'm
That was crazy.
about to say they don't.
She shut down.
What?
He had a little rocket ship going somewhere, and she.
Come on.
What is this?
That was
Nothing like a
terrible.
YSO welcome.
Oh man.
I mean,
Y'all know me, man. You call me Emmanuel Saint Even, God's favorite. Guest to my left, introduce yourself to the YSO family.
I'm Tyler.
Not to be confused with the creator.
Not to be confused with the creator, that's right. No, but for real, some of y'all may know me by TySmoove, Tyler J. Almanor, if you know me, Y'all may know me.
Tyler J. Almanor.
That's your name?
Mr. Hokey Pokey, however y'all, you know what I'm saying?
that mean?
Oh my god.
What is that nigga? Mr. Hokey Pokey.
That tweet was like, I could not be no fucking watcher. Please, what does this mean? What does this mean?
What does this mean?
Y'all don't hear people calling you Mr.
I've never heard that in my life.
Mr. Hokey Pokey.
I've never heard anybody say Mr. Hokey Pokey.
What does that even mean? That you like put something in and turn it all around?
You
Like,
breaking their houses down? Is that what you saying?
People's lives.
What?
You know what? Hi everybody, it's Ashton.
I had a character in mind, and I forgot which one it was. So I'm gonna just go with the simple fact that I've been watching or rewatching one of my favorite animes, and it's Full Metal Alchemist. So your boy, in spirit of my brother not being here and Tyler filling in his place, it's your boy. You know who I am. But today I'm Edward. You feel me?
Edward?
Elric.
Okay.
Edward Elric.
That was not clear.
Full Metal Alchemist. You feel me?
But yeah, as you see, in lieu of Christian's usual spot, we got a special guest with us here today. And before we dive even deeper into our episode, just let the people know a little bit about you, who you are,
Oh, okay.
what you do, why you're alive, things of that nature.
You don't know that yet.
Well, I mean, I'm a young entertainer, so you may see me in any entertainment field, and I do mean any that you could think of. So, you know,
The last one made it seem like porn. I'm just gonna
Very,
say what everybody's thinking.
It was very seductive.
It was fine
I don't
until
know
the
why.
last one definitely
put that
seemed like
little-
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
yeah, it sounded like that.
Just a little bit.
So,
I heard no denying.
you know, I'm a, you know what I mean? I'm a young whippersnapper. I just try to, you know what I mean? So
We
yeah.
might just like block this. This section out.
Full sense of
From
black
camera.
bar just sitting there moving.
So thanks so much for having me. You know, a longtime fan and friend of the podcast. I love what you guys are doing. And I'm just very grateful and honored to be a part today.
For sure. If you're a long time follower of us, then you might have seen and heard Tyler's voice in some previous moments where he's called into the show, been a part of some live broadcasts that we've had, but it's our first time having him in studio and our first time having a guest in studio. If guests is something that you guys want to see more from the YSO podcast, let us know and we will fill that lane, you know what I mean, because we can do anything. We do whatever we want to do because we can do whatever we want to do. And with that being said, today's episode, I wanted to get us back to something that we used to do, and that's focusing on a central theme and really attacking a certain topic. And this has been weighing heavily on my mind recently, not only in my own life, but being able to gauge if I feel like these are principles, concepts, ideals that the people in my life kind of have attributed to them. And so the title for this theme, if you will, was "What does it mean to chase a dream?" And I think that before even getting into some of these questions and diving into conversation, that title came to me kind of effortlessly. I'm really good at titling things. If you ever need something titled or named, just come to me. It is one of my giftings. I'm really dope at it. But it came to me, and I just asked myself, like, especially in this day and age, with social media, influencer culture, content creation, everybody in some way filling this lane, more and more people who have no by historical definition, talent, in the sense of not in these fields of entertainment that we're used to, becoming famous and establishing platforms and not just opening the doors for themselves, but then for others, all new lanes being created. It feels like when you're on social media, almost every post you see, in its essence, is somebody chasing a dream. It's somebody's sponsored post for their music or for their food or for their clothing line. It's somebody's reel because they're telling you about the place that they went to or them working out, or whatever the case may be. All of these things that we kind of just used to do just as part of our lives and do because we did them. Now we're recording them. Now we're framing them and we're putting background music and captions, and we're in CapCut and iMovie and Adobe and all of these things, because now we're making our lives a product and we're pushing it to the masses. And so with everyone chasing a dream, it begets the question, what does it mean to chase a dream, and who really is really doing that? Because, kind of like as my young homie Syndrome once said, when everyone's super, nobody is. So that's kind of what dawned on me. And just diving right in, the first question that came to me was simply, do you have a dream? And if so, is that dream more general
it's just a kind of abstract idea, or do you have a specific vision for it? Whoever want to jump at that first.
I'll go. I feel like, I don't know, it's hard for me right now. You know, like, I've talked to you guys before about how, like, I still feel like I'm, like, searching for like, what my purpose is. I'm like, what do I really want to do forever? Which is, at this point, nothing. So I think, like, where I am right now is, like, my dream is more so focused on, like, the type of person that I want to be internally, regardless of, like, what my outside circumstances are. Like, if I have a family, how much success I have, like, the type of car, where I live, like, I kind of, like, chose to just push all of that stuff outside of my mind and be like, okay, like, Ashton, regardless of what's going on in your life, who do I want to be, like,
Right.
deep on the inside? And I think that's, like, you know, getting closer to God. I want to be, like, wiser, more knowledgeable, patient, caring. I want to, like, be a light to people's lives and, you know, like, just get rid of all the negativity that I feel like, you know, like, you feel on a day-to-day basis. So, like, I can't, because I don't know yet what I'm supposed to do, I'm like, I just can't focus too much on that because I'm going to stress myself out.
So your dream at the moment is just to be the best version of yourself that you can be.
Yeah.
That's real.
And specifically that being completely internal. Like, even if your outside life doesn't really reflect what we attribute someone who's a good person, like, that's all irrelevant.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, life is going to change all the time regardless, because I could maybe achieve whatever dream I have, and then it could be gone the next day. So, like, I still want to be me regardless. Oh, my God. But,
even though I don't actually feel like the baby's, like, career is over. I just feel like the world wants it to be really bad, and so they're trying to manifest it.
They doing a good job.
He might think he's still winning, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, he definitely does.
Yeah.
So did he achieve his dream?
Tickets ain't the same.
I mean, he achieved it.
I think the problem is the baby. His core fan base was always ignorant niggas.
Yeah.
And so y'all are trying to, like, find moral high grounds to, like, take away, like, all of the auxiliary outside people that were making him, like, the most streamed rapper in the world. Like, sure, but his core fan base isn't going anywhere. You're not gonna convince ignorant niggas like, oh, he's amoral. Look how he treats his baby mamas and the things he said at Rolling Loud about homosexuality. And it's just like,
oh, that's how I feel. Jesus went to war with the government at the time. The Pharisees and the Sadducees are the government of that time. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, if Jesus returned today, the first people on the list that would want him dead is the president and the vice president. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it in my mind. Even though we are a Christian nation, our forefathers were Christian and all this other stuff, it's very apparent that we've gotten way far from that way further from that than we probably would like.
Forefathers, they was white.
Oh God, they wasn't my forefathers.
I had more than four.
I'm sorry, you just said the word forefathers, and I gotta tell you about this Roy Woods Jr. drink.
I seen it.
You seen it?
Yeah.
Did I send it to you, or did you send it to me?
I don't remember. I just know I seen it.
I feel like okay, for YouTube. Basically, he told a joke about how like he like all my black friends would talk about their ancestors, all my white friends would talk about their forefathers. Two different types of dead people, and it's a lot funnier, but I can't remember the rest of it. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. There's a point in time in my life where I feel like I will have no choice but to expose things that are happening because I see them now, and I get upset when people look at stuff and they don't see the same thing I see. But I understand that I have eyes to see it. So it's like, and it's very difficult to tell certain people certain things because I sound crazy regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ain't that
Jesus
lonely?
sounded crazy.
They get lonely, don't it?
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I kind of understood that when I started thinking this way in the first place.
I think it's better for it to feel lonely though, because the last thing you want to be is a dude who sounds crazy around a bunch of people who get it.
Yeah.
Then you just might actually be crazy.
Like, you gotta sit there
You
and like,
feel me? Like,
Yeah.
like you really think you found a community of like-minded individuals, and you're like, wait, am I a cult leader?
Oh shoot! No.
Yeah.
this must be what David Koresh felt like.
I'm a cult leader. I've made a cult. This is sticky.
Yeah.
No.
Hey John, how you feel about me? Oh, you're the best man. Yep, I'm a cold.
I would die for you
crazy.
if you wanted my firstborn daughter right out of her mother's womb.
Oh my
She'd
god.
be yours.
Whoa.
I'm leaving now.
I think. Wait, is it safe to say that everybody has like a corner of their imagination that they'll never share?
Yeah. I learned from an FBI agent that everybody has 3 lives. They have their public life, they have their private life, and they have their secret life.
The
Secret life.
Secret life? So the private life and the secret life are not the same thing.
No, your private life is your
Like
family.
reserved for your friends.
Yeah,
Oh,
your friends, your
close
family.
friends, that's
Your
your
secret
Yeah.
life stays up here?
No, your
Because
secret
I
life
think
are
certain
things that
people
you
live in a
do.
secret life.
Some people might actually. Some people might. But your secret life are the things that you do that you want nobody else to know that you're doing them.
Right. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I just think
Do we flip back and forth, or like is one always at the forefront?
The one on your forefront is always your public.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because that's the appearance you want to appear to people. That's your social media. That's like your when
Yeah,
people
but-
see. If
But
people
which one
see
are
on the
you
street.
like in though? Is what I'm saying. Like, are you flipping
Like,
back and
like,
forth
which
to which
part of
one
your
like
mind
you're
is it
subscribing
tapped
to right
into?
now?
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like you do probably switch depending
Oh,
on
yeah.
your
You gotta
environment.
switch.
The second you get alone,
You're
you switch to your
constantly
secret
chasing
life.
through.
the better question is
Unless you
which
never
one's
switch.
really you?
That's what I'm saying.
All
Unless
of
if you
them.
never
Also,
switch
yeah.
to
All
if you
of them.
never switch if you
Yeah.
switching back and forth, if you never switch to your public life, you a dangerous person.
And I think it's a lot of SVU episodes about those very individuals.
Oh my gosh.
And the scariest thing about it is, like, of course, everybody has things that they keep secret.
Yeah.
But what we don't always know is how not how secret are they, but how malevolent are they? Like how the people that we hang around, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not always, but there's a lot of cases where like people are, you know, kind of freaky, or they're like something that's very, very. Don't look me up and down. That ain't I was trying to lead the conversation into a different bulletin and change a little gear, because you know what I'm saying. You have people who, you know what I'm saying. You have people who just I like bowling, so I go bowling. You got people
That's
who
me.
Yeah, talk more about the Let's hear more about this.
Talk about the Atlanta Oranges.
It's like,
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I spent an unreasonable amount of money on balls, paws, and gloves and all this type of stuff because I like bowling. Or you have people who are actually sick with their secret life. You know what I'm saying? And like and harm people or get harmed or do certain things that they find whatever pleasure they find in.
Is there an objective fine line of sick?
Depends on the person.
Then they can't be objective.
Yes, yes.
So?
Once you start dealing with crimes, yes.
No,
Yeah.
I disagree.
I think it can be.
I
think it can be legal and be sick, and I think it can be a crime and not be sick.
Yeah, I think that I think
understand
because I got a lot of things that I do that are illegal, but they're moral.
What?
They are moral, just illegal.
Like what?
And I feel that.
Well, why would I say they're illegal? I ain't gonna say it on there.
You done already added the U.S. government, and now you want us to confess the felony. I should have said no,
But I'll say this, because look, I'm pretty much an open book, right? So even in my secret life is more so it's not that I'm hiding what I'm doing. I'm probably hiding how often I'm doing it.
I can understand that.
That happens. Like I might mention that I do this,
Chasing the dream.
but
You don't know I do
really,
it.
come on, I do it more than anything. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it more than anything else.
Oh my God, sweet Jesus!
Let's get back to
Lord,
chasing
give
the
him a
dream.
hobby.
Let's get back to
A new
chasing
one.
the dream.
Let him take up crocheting, glass blowing or something.
I should have been more specific. I was just thinking of this case of 2 white people who were found to be pedophiles and child molesters. So like, but they were very prominent in their community. You know what I'm saying? Like
Most of them are.
Yeah.
usually, you know what I mean. But they like everybody loved them in the office. The lady was such a nice person, and they were a couple and they was doing it together. And so it was like when everybody found that out,
That just
like
be the
the sheer amount of like footage that they kept and stuff that they had.
It's never a small amount.
It's
They got a
never.
terabyte of footage of it
Yeah.
every time.
But that's because they just so far gone. Like
Yeah.
And as I said, that's easy because that's nowhere near the line. You see what I'm saying? Like that's nowhere. But like, what about the ones that kind of like fall? Like, oh, it's so subjective. Like some people
Like that.
Like BDSM. Like
I was about to say, y'all seen
Maybe.
y'all seen the video of the person in the cube, the latex
I ain't
cube
seen no
with the
video,
mouth
but I
tube?
saw the
Nice.
memes.
It's like
Oh,
it's
It's very hard.
it's a vacuum sealed latex suit where the person is on their knees, arms stretched, and it's like this square cube 3-dimensional. It's vacuum sealed, and they have a breathing tube on their mouth, and that's the only access to. And it's another person is there, and they just move it, and like they push it to the side and back, rock it back, and that
is enough.
some people like that.
does things. I don't know what things it do.
Now,
I didn't get a first-hand account.
now,
But that video was going around on Twitter, and the reason why I bring it up is because somebody was like, "This is literally the mildest thing," and everybody was like, "Baby girl, not on God's green earth." And then people were defending because they were like, "In the kink world, this is pretty mild." And I remember reading the people saying like, "In the kink world, in the kink like that," and I just was like, "Do y'all see what y'all are saying? The kink world.
In the kink
What world is this? What you mean? Why is this a world? Why are we there? Look at the location you said this is mild at. The kink world. Excusez-moi. Why are we
It's a lot
here?
worse.
you quickly find out that there's communities for
Man,
almost
for
every.
Absolutely
Man.
everything.
You are
Absolutely
not the
everything.
only one.
But then here's the thing, right? That's an example of something where like you're not harming anyone. So
Yeah,
is it sick?
That's where I feel like that's where I feel like the line.
Yeah, those are things close
Once
to the
you
line.
get into harming other people, causing trauma for other people, you tripping.
I don't know, but that's close to the line though. It's close. It might be on the moral
I
side,
mean,
though,
yeah,
but it's close.
If we
Whatever
talking,
it's at,
if
it's
we
close.
talking, here's the line. Yeah, all of that is right up on it. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
not
yeah,
crossing
yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Walking the tightrope by it.
I'm a side eye you, but I ain't gonna be mad at you. I ain't gonna shut on Twitter for doing that by a friend of mine, and I was like,
For kink shaming?
yes. I was like, nah, we need to shame a lot more. Like,
Yeah, Shane definitely needs to make a comeback.
and
Let's
then I had to tell him I was joking because he was taking it way too far, and I'm
It's
just
like, no, I'm
not about to do this over the internet with you, bro.
She was really trying to tell you something.
Hey.
And I wasn't listening.
Okay, now here's another question. Let's getting us back.
What's that
So-
old meme? I ain't finna read all that. Either congrats or I'm sorry.
I love that. I love when people post something wrong on Twitter. But a question I wanted to ask.
Okay.
If I guess this kind of we kind of started going, huh?
I was in my head trying to keep track of the time.
Time.
She just did it,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like at 9:40. So
We kind of started to go in this direction with this question, but I kind of just want to put it fully out there. Do you believe you can live a fulfilled life? Not in general, I'm asking for y'all to speak for yourselves specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe you can live a fulfilled life if you never achieve your dream?
No.
Yes.
I'll always
no,
know,
no, yes.
I'll always feel deep down that I should be doing something different than what I'm doing right now. And because of that, there's probably.
Does that take away the fulfillment?
What you mean?
I mean, because like even if you have that feeling,
Say you got a beautiful family.
Yeah, exactly.
You make
Yeah.
enough to take care of them. They love you. You're a good man. Like people in your life and in your community have nothing but the best things to say about you. Your secret life isn't sick. Like you have all of these family healthy, whatever the case may be. You got all of these boxes checked, but you never achieve your dream. She's asking, does not achieving your dream remove that fulfillment or alter it, drastically change it to the point where you don't feel like you've had a fulfilled life?
Yeah, so for me specifically, like what you kind of were describing is like a part of my dream.
Okay,
If that makes
okay.
sense. So like for me, if I don't end up having a family, if I don't end up, have enough money to take care of myself, if I don't end up, at least being able to take care of myself with the music I make or the media that I put out, the beats that I'm making or whatever it may be, like that is all encompassed in my dream.
Got you.
So for me, it's like if I don't achieve my dream, then I don't get all of that. So like that's where I was.
So
thinking.
yeah, when you're thinking
So
on a
that's
life where you don't achieve your dream, all of those things aren't even
all of those
possible.
things.
Gotcha.
If I do end up getting a family and doing something that I don't hate, but I can do to take care of my family, and I'm not making music, I still will probably try to make music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
It just won't be what's put in it.
yeah, it just So like, and then for me, I don't know if that will still be me chasing, if that makes sense, because that's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Be in a sense.
So, if I die never having like performed in front of a sold out audience or like won any type of award or like like had some sort of somebody come up to me and say, hey, I heard your music and it helped me through this phase in my life, then I feel like I have failed only because the
like
gifts,
that's your purpose.
yeah, like I was given the gift to do it for a reason.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And
Yeah, I feel that.
music saved my life for a reason. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So like I have to pay this forward. There's no
Yeah.
ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
That's my mindset when it comes to making music. That's why I try to put as much spirit into it as I can. So that is like my main goal. I feel like I've always told people my biggest fear, even since I was young, like I remember saying this to people as a child, my biggest fear has always been me not reaching my full potential. And I know that means that I'm meant for something great.
Right.
So like and I know I'm full able to do so. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm actually capable of doing certain things because certain things have happened in my life and I'm like, yo, I was very, very, very I want to say between 13 and 19, I had a really, really, really strong gift for prophecy. Now, to me, it was just me saying, this is going to happen. And it would happen.
Right.
Like, it was just because I seen, certain things. Like, it didn't even hit me until I was 19 years old and I was at MTSU. And this was like at the end of the second semester. We're all about to go home. I'm hanging out with one of our friends. And it's like a week or so before finals. And we was talking about something that had to do with like our friend group. He just looked at me. He was like, bro, everything you said was going to happen, happened. I was like, what you mean? He was like, bruh, think about it. Like, if we was hanging around so-and-so or some girl or whatever, and he'll be like, look, he about to do this, they about to do that, and this about to happen. It would happen. And I'll be like, yeah, but it was normal to me. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that was just like I'm
You
just like
sensitized to it.
like I just predict stuff because it's just like you don't see what I see. Like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
like
obvious, it's blatant to you.
right. So it's like things like that. It's like I need to be using those. Like and it wasn't until then, like literally after I realized it, I had stopped exercising it. You know what I'm saying? So like in a minute. In like a good year or so after that, I'm like, yo, I don't even think I have it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least I didn't have it as strong as it was when I was younger.
Right.
So, like, I know that there's gifts that I can use specifically to further the kingdom and to do certain things that I know would help a lot of people. So, it's like, I got to get to the point where I can stand on that foundation and walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, because I know for a fact, no matter how by myself I feel, God is always with me. I always talk to him and he talks back. I hear his voice and I can't deny that I do, because there's been times where I was about to do something and he like, yo, and I didn't do it. And there's been times where I was like most recently on Wednesday, 2-3 Wednesdays ago, my mom asked me to come because she thought she would need help with the sound because they were doing the final part to a specific lesson type. I can't remember what it was, but I thought I was needed there, but CJ was there and the dude that we had monitoring from his home, and he could remote in and do certain things. He was also watching, so I didn't need to be there, but I told her I would come, so I came, and I was just like, you know what, I don't have to leave. I can just wait, see what Prophet Carlos gonna say, da 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 da. And then after that, they started doing the altar card. I was like, all right, I need to kind of get home because I need to be in the bed in about 20 minutes because, I need to wake up. And I went outside, got in the car, turned it on, backed out, drove around, and by the time I got past the old church and was spinning around, like, that other part of the parking lot, he was like, go back inside. Go back inside. And I'm about to drive off, and I'm like, all right, man, dang. So I got out the car, and I went back inside. And when I went back inside, I just, walked up to the front, and I got prayer or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I got things that were confirmation for me at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was just like, I'm glad I came back. I'm glad I listened to it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? I know... I just know deep down in my bones, there's something coming, specifically in this country. And I need to be prepared for it because I don't know, that's been my biggest battle the past couple of weeks, trying to figure out how to prepare. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be caught up in whatever it is that's going to happen. But that's the biggest thing for me. And it's like, if I don't make it happen now and I let people down when that time comes, I will have failed completely. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if I'm not prepared for that time, then who knows? It could be life or death in that time. You know what I'm saying? And if people are losing their lives because of what I could have done today, that's how I'm going to take it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to carry that weight on my shoulders, and I don't want to live with that.
Right.
Even if it's not my fault for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that it's like, I could have done something.
You could have, but you didn't. Yeah.
So,
I understand it.
yeah, I feel like it's... I said all of that to say it for me, nah, I don't think I would be able to be fulfilled.
You said no too, right, Ashton?
Yeah, I said no.
I think I want you to explain why, but I think that's very interesting, specifically because whereas you have a dream, your dream is completely internal.
Yeah.
And so, like, I guess, like, dive into why that, like, you wouldn't be able to have that fulfillment without that.
Because I feel like it's so much about, like, how I want to be there for the people around me, like the type of influence that I want to have over my siblings, how I want to, help them as they're getting older, how I want to feel like I'm truly connected to God, to myself, to life, honestly, like outside of anything that's monetary or physical. So I feel like if I freaking, I don't know, won the lottery and I'm like, oh, I can take care of my whole family financially and I can get whatever I want, but like internally I'm still having some type of like battle, it's gonna be like, I'm not ever gonna feel settled. Like I can't just sit in that and be like, okay, Ashton, like we're good. Like everything on the outside is fine, but like in my mind, I'm stir crazy. Like I can't. So no, like I wouldn't be okay with that at all. Cause I've been thinking about where I'm at now, and you know, like it's crazy because I've looked back to when I was like 16, 17, and I'd be like, you know, like if I could see the future and see where I am now, I'd be like, oh, Ashton, like you're doing so good, like you came so far. But it's like something is like, no, like I still have a long way to go. As far as just like my mental.
I feel that exact same way. I literally had that conversation with somebody, I want to say 2 days ago, about like talking to my younger self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said yes.
Yes, I could. Say the question again so I can make sure I heard it. Because I think I heard it a little bit differently.
Do you believe you can live a fulfilled life even if you never achieve your dream?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Because the way I heard the question, I'm thinking of even if I never achieved my dream, meaning the dream that I have now. You know what I mean? And I do understand that whatever dream it is I do have now, I'm not the person that's going to achieve it anyways, you know? This is a future self.
Right.
And I just don't think it's fair for...
It died.
What happened?
It died.
I just don't think it's fair for my future self who's smarter and stronger and wiser and more submitted to God. I just don't think it's fair for him to be a slave to 25-year-old me's dream, you know? So however that dream changes, however that dream evolves, you know what? Maybe I might even get to a place where I collaborate with God even more than I am now, and I'm more submitted to his will for me, you know, then. And so I know the dream that I have today, even if I never fulfill that one, I could still
Find
live,
another one.
live a fulfilled life, even if I don't, you know, fulfill this current dream. So it's not so set in stone for me.
What if you never achieve any dream?
And that's okay with me too, because everything I was saying was kind of hypothetical. I don't even think I really have a dream. I didn't answer the first question when it came around. I kind of started talking about something.
That is true. Yeah.
No, I don't think I have a dream. I think, you know, every day is just a new thing, a new challenge, a new setup for a new experience. So if I never get the things that of course I imagine things in my head for myself, but if I never get any of those, you know, if I don't even go in that direction, that doesn't necessarily mean anything to me, because I just know how. The more I know that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm so small in this grand scheme of things. So like I could make up stuff in my head, but I just don't feel like it's up to me. You know what I mean? For these, like, then I'm gonna be trying to force things to happen. I don't want to get into that mindset. So I just kind of let, you know, things be. Of course, I do want to continue growing, and I want to be growing until the day I die. If that's a dream, then I guess that'll be my dream. But outside of that, no, I don't think I really have like a set dream yet, at least.
Do you feel you have a purpose?
Of course, I absolutely do have a purpose. That doesn't mean I know it though. So, and that's why I say yet, because maybe, I don't know, in a year from now, I will know my exact purpose, and I'll have a dream based around that.
And his dream could be different from a dream.
Though.
I don't either. I think a lot of people have dreams
Yeah.
that are not aligned with their purpose. And
Yeah.
I think some people have purposes that. I think a lot of times, some people's purpose exists in a span of their life, and some people's purpose exists in a moment. And like none of us really, like, I'll give an example, and I'll give a biblical one. I think Judas Iscariot's purpose in life was to betray Jesus Christ. Like, I think that was his purpose. That all came down to one moment and 30 pieces of silver. Like it.
Yeah.
And everything before that was to build and shape and create that moment, and everything after it is conjecture, which is why he killed himself like 4 days later. Because, and I'm not saying that like once your purpose is fulfilled, you're going to die immediately, but I don't think that God belabors in bringing us home
once our purpose is fulfilled.
Mm.
It's just some people's purpose, it's going to take a span of a life.
Yeah.
Jesus is the most important human being ever, and it only took him 33 years to fulfill his purpose. And he did it, got up out of here, came back for a few more days, and then got up out of here again and said, I'll see y'all in a couple centuries, and when I do, I'm taking my kids with me. And that's like, for certain people, like, it could be one exchange or a few different key benchmark moments, or it could take the span of a life. But I don't think that everyone's purpose can even be a dream. Like,
literally.
Exactly.
Like, how bonkers is it if we met 8-year-old Judas and was like, "What's your dream?" He's like, "To betray some powerful nigga in a few years."
Right.
Like, what?
But your
First
dream,
of all, who are you talking about? And second of all, why?
you say everybody's purpose can't always be a dream, or almost can never be a dream, but your dream can be rooted in your purpose.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I do believe that. I
they're
believe.
not mutually exclusive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there are
And
tons
I do
of
think
people.
in order for that to happen, you have to first have an understanding of purpose. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Yes,
Like, a lot of
absolutely.
people
Purpose
don't
itself,
understand
and
that's where it starts.
your purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of times your dreams, your hopes, your passions is tied to your purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of times, but I think there are a lot of people pursuing dreams that have nothing to do with their purpose.
Right.
I think that's
That's
most
true.
people. Like
Most
most
people.
Yeah.
people
I'm gonna
are
be honest
lost in
with
that
you.
regard, and they're
I
chasing
have
dreams that
a
are not
good
aligned
amount of
with their
friends
purpose.
who their dream were to be like the people they saw on TV, and for the most part were rappers who were ex-drug dealers, so they did the same things that they did, and I can tell you that wasn't their purpose. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Do you think it's possible to walk in your purpose and not know it?
Yeah.
Be walking in it
Oh, of
presently
course.
and not know
I
that
do.
you
I
are?
do. I definitely do.
Could just be
I definitely.
things are happening, things are clicking in the right areas, all firing on all cylinders, and you're like living a good life. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I think
I
the
think
same
that's
example that you
tied
just
to
used
what
about
you
Judas.
just said, that it's over a span, it's
it'll
moments
be
and times.
evidence to that person. Well, it'll be evidence to somebody with the eyes to see. You know what I'm saying?
The only reason why I feel like it can't be that way is because, and maybe I'm like being too like, I forget the word, but like I'm being too like
Analytical.
kind of not denotative, but like purpose. The literal antipode of purpose is accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I just don't.
Okay.
But it's not.
believe-
But it's not up to you though.
I can agree with that. I believe you can be doing the literal things that are aligned in your purpose, but until it is conscious and intentional, you're not walking in your purpose.
Yeah.
You could be doing the
Okay.
exact same things.
Fair.
And that's why, so like,
Okay.
if using the Judas example, right? Again, I think his purpose was to betray Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a moment.
Yeah.
Everything before that was to shape it, sure. And so you can
Right.
say by being a disciple and this and the third, he's walking in his purpose. But his purpose was to betray him. And he did that fully intentioned. I just don't think
But
you
they
can.
didn't know that it was his purpose.
I don't think you have to.
I thought that was the question.
Oh, well, what was the question? Let
Do you think you could be walking in your purpose and
Without
not know
knowing
it?
Okay, so I guess the wording of the question makes it tough. I think you can you be walking in your purpose and not know it's your purpose? Maybe. But I don't think you can be walking in your purpose if the things you are doing that walk in that purpose are not something you're doing intentionally.
I see what you're saying.
And,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
like
I see.
and not just like, oh, I get up every day and I live my life into like with a certain level of energy and focus, determination, those things that we associate with purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I guess that's why my initial answer was no. Maybe my answer was like it depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that it's hard for me to like your purpose by accident. It's just hard for me to get jiggy with that.
I understand that. I understand that. But when I said, even the comment that I said, like, it's not up to you, is because, like, and now it gets tricky because I understand the free will of it all. Like, so
Right.
it kind of is up to you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, your purpose was assigned to you by God. So it's not an accident on his part, even if you're accidentally walking in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's still not an accident.
Yeah, for sure. I can agree with that.
The reason why I asked that question is because a lot of times people don't really know what their purpose is, like Ashton was saying.
Well, I think majority of people don't know what their purpose is.
So
Like 94.
I think sometimes we think when we say purpose, we think about this big gigantic thing.
Yeah, like
Mm.
a
That we have to
grandiose,
be-
Yeah.
Sometimes your purpose is just to serve mankind.
Yeah.
Sometimes your purpose is just to, be a light in your family. It
Yeah.
just all depends on who you are and who God has made you to be. So sometimes that's what I said. Can you be doing it and not realize it?
And
Yeah.
again, like I said, like sometimes your purpose really is encapsulated in a moment. Like, and
Can your purpose be broad though? Can it be like general?
I think maybe how you do it can be general, but I just don't think God's a general God. And if we believe that purpose
Yeah,
comes
I don't
straight
think
from
so.
Him, then I don't think it will ever be
It
general.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
general.
Like, come on, if you know every strand of hair on your body,
Yeah.
like a man with that much attention to detail is gonna just be like, and for this one, general idea. Like, it's just
Yeah.
don't.
No. But
don't
when I say
seem
general, I don't mean. I mean general by like your own standards. Like if let's say your purpose was to save someone's life, and that's your purpose, to save someone's life. Like to you go, oh, that's so general. I don't know who it is. I don't know when it is. I don't know. You might think that's general, but it's very intentional on God's part.
Yeah,
You
you,
know what I
might
mean?
think it's general, but I just think that's man understanding.
That's what I'm talking about. So when I say we think your purpose can be general, I'm talking about like what we view as general. Like, do you think that God could assign you a purpose that's that general by your understanding?
It'll
You
be
know what
general by your understanding, but I think, like, use
And
your
the
example.
effect, it won't be general.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
In the
the
grand
person
scheme
whose
of
life
things.
you save,
Right.
it'll never be general for them.
Yeah.
I mean? Right.
Honestly, it won't be general once you do it.
Yeah.
No.
And so it's just like, it can only be general for so long, I feel like.
No, I just mean like when you know what it is, even if you don't know the
Can you
specifics.
not have a specific-
Do you feel like you need more specifics, or is that enough for you?
Me personally, or just in a general sense?
I guess I'm asking everyone.
Me personally,
That's enough
Yeah, it's enough for me.
yeah, no.
for me. You need every detail.
I don't need every detail, but it being, I'm trying to say this.
With the fact that God knows what's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
from beginning to end,
Mhm.
nothing he does is general.
Right.
Everything he does is specific. You know
But
what I'm saying?
But he also won't make us do anything. So
Yeah, exactly. And that's
it's-
also another thing I was thinking about. Free
Yeah.
will is definitely a thing. So like, you have the full option not to pursue your purpose.
it's true.
And just to live your life the way you want to live your life. Whether
Yeah.
that's, your spirit leading you or your flesh leading you. But for the most part, when it even in that, like, God doesn't want anybody, living by their flesh.
True.
But if somebody's like living by their flesh and they get a misconception of their purpose,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? And they might think, oh, my purpose is to not to offend anybody. Well, my purpose is to help trans kids figure out what their identity is at a very young age.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in God's eyes, that is not your purpose. That is you leading children astray.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But that could be, to them, a very general, you know what I'm saying, sense
Yeah.
of what they need to do in life because of something that they may have went through. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, when it comes down to what God's purpose is, you know what I'm saying? It could be the complete opposite. It could have been how he put you on this earth because he knew that this would happen to you, depending on whoever it is that did it to you, and you have the potential to help people get through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you handle whatever it is that happened to you the right way.
Yeah.
So, it's for him. It's always like, I feel like, yes, to our human understanding, yes, it could be general.
Of
But
course.
from the gifter, it will never be.
No, it won't be. But like I even think about like Joseph, the one with the robe. His purpose was given to him in a dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a metaphor,
Yeah, it
a
was a
metaphoric
metaphor.
dream.
He
You know what I mean?
That is
He
So like,
definitely didn't
imagine he woke up and he was like, I need more details.
Yeah.
You gotta run with that, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's what I gave
But
you.
wasn't he like a good dream interpreter?
He was a great
He
one.
was.
So Maybe that's why it
That's
went
why it
to
went,
him.
yeah.
But he still didn't know exactly how that was gonna come about, though.
I think he didn't know his path to it. But I think
But he knew what the end
I think he was
destination
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
He knew where he was and he knew his ending, but he didn't know he was
told
going.
him
and
what
that's
he
the
was gonna
thing.
do.
Batteries,
I don't
slaves,
know.
prison,
Right.
And but see, that's what I mean.
That's what makes the story so much better. Cause like imagine being a slave and you like, bro, you just gave me this dream. You know what I'm saying?
I thought they were supposed to be bowing down to me.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I got a revelation, a word, or whatever you want to call it, prophecy, whatever you want to call it. He told me to prepare for a quick and speedy takeoff. In relation to me and my standing in this world. You know what I'm saying? So like, I've been preparing for a quick and speedy takeoff now for 6 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm in a position where like I went through 5 years of depression and I got it in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? And it was like I didn't see I had no hope in that time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even now I still don't have like the necessary like, oh yeah, this is how it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
You
I
never
do know it's
how
coming. Right.
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's
gonna
coming.
come to pass.
You know what I'm saying? At some point, a series of events is gonna take place, and before I know it, I'm gonna be walking out and looking out. I'm like, yo, it's almost 1,000 people in here. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel like it's gonna happen. It's gonna be quick. That's what he said. So I gotta figure out how to be ready for that.
Yeah, a lot of times, you speaking about the depression and coming out of it and everything, a lot of times your pain is tied to your purpose or your life experience.
I mean, I think that's...
Or your life
100%
experience.
Shameless plug.
But on the real side, though, really.
Yeah, but really,
It's-
for real, yeah.
yeah.
A lot of times it is.
Yeah.
Because
I
our
think,
you gotta remember, your purpose is greater than who you even think you are.
yes.
Absolutely.
Something you would even never imagine yourself to have to be able to do.
That's another thing that I just intrinsically believe. Like, nobody's purpose is for them. Like,
For us.
Say it.
That was wild.
Say it.
That was
I think it's
That is very
impossible.
true.
for one
Say
purpose
it.
for,
Absolutely.
like, nobody's purpose
That's
is for them.
That's
Nope.
it, for sure.
Right at all.
And I think that for me is a lot of times when I'm able to gauge if someone's dream is connected to their purpose. Because you can say the dream, me and you can have the exact same dream, but when I probe deeper and I figure out why you have that dream, what makes that dream important to you, and what it means to you, when all I hear is you, I'm usually like, this might not be your purpose. And I don't say that, but I just can clock it mentally. You know, it might take going to certain depths of conversation or asking the right question, but like, I think specifically in the field that I'm in, right, when you're in any entertainment industry, but especially when you're in multiple, you're gonna meet a bunch of other people who have the same dream as you. Maybe to different levels, but they have the same dream as you. And there are a lot of them who shouldn't be dreaming that dream. And for me, the biggest gauge of that is your why. Not how much talent you have, or how old you are, or how much training, how long you've been doing it.
Example.
Like, for me, like, your why is always gonna tell me what it is. You know, it's the greatest exposure, I feel like. And a lot of people with bad whys are going to achieve their dreams.
It happens all the time.
And that's what kind of makes this game of life like so tricky, because like we get so caught up in like this good versus evil and right versus wrong dichotomy, and it's shoved down our throat in everything that you can consume, whether it's theology and religion or history or media, or like you can't escape it. And it's just so funny because like it's not reflected in our world. It's probably one of the few things that, like, you know, art reflects life, life reflects art, and they have the relationship of holding a mirror to each other. And I'm not even saying the concept of like good conquering evil, just this like ideal that they're in this long-standing battle juxtaposed against each other, that's like felt and understood and observed and can be like recorded very simply. The Avengers versus Thanos' army. And we can count the members and we can see the fatalities, and it's like that's the one area where we've kind of romanticized and glamorized it.
Mhm.
It's just not that simple black and white, cut and dry.
It's fun.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And that's interesting because it makes you wonder, not on a human literal level, because we can kind of follow anyone's journey and you can kind of probably point them out. But what is the factor in the grand scheme of things on a spiritual and metaphysical plane, if you will, that decides and determines who gets to do that, to achieve their dreams? What you keep look? Is it on or not?
Let's keep going. Just looking at the.
I think
confusing.
I think misinterpretation and deception play a big part in that, because I think when you look at like even like how we view like success and stuff, and we always wonder like, oh, like if I'm a good person, I should be successful, and why do the bad people get to be successful? But when you look at the like standards of the success that what you hold success to be, it's like that what you're holding success to be was never promised. That was never a simple equation like that, like good, you get this, bad, you don't get this.
Right.
Some of the things that you do see, like for instance, God. So like you know a good tree by the fruit that it bears, right?
Yep.
And then a lot of people interpret that as, okay, well, let me see like the fruit of your life. What do you have? Do you have anything going for you? Do you have this and that and third?
Got an emotion.
But really, God already told you what the fruits are. The fruits of the Spirit. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
we're sitting here judging these off the standards, like these carnal standards of like, oh, do you have the money? Do you have the notoriety? Do you have the fame and success? And really, he's telling you what the fruit of a good tree is. And that is the fruits of the Spirit. That's patience, joy, kindness. I don't know all the rest of them.
I'm focusing on them three right now. Once I get them down,
I'm sure I got all of them. You know what I mean? But I think the enemy comes to deceive, right? And so he comes to steal and destroy. And so when he deceives us, he makes us misinterpret that. And so now we're thinking like, oh wait, this equation is broken because I'm a good person and I thought I was a good tree, but I'm not bearing these fruits, which is the things that are not actually fruits.
Right.
You know what I mean?
World, yeah.
Exactly. And so now we start looking at it like, oh wait, so maybe the what they say, nice guys do finish last, and maybe the bad guys get all the fine girls, and the ones that you really wanted, you put in all the work.
I just saw a video of a montage of a dude asking a bunch of women if they want a dude, if they want a 9-to-5 dude or a perk head drug addict.
I saw that.
And
Perk
they
head
were
drug
all
dealer was
saying-
crazy.
One girl was like, "How bad is the perk addiction?"
Yeah,
I
she
was
did
like,
say
"You,
that.
not you, negotiate."
She did say that. She did
I'm
say
sorry.
that.
But then, but
Perk head
What's
drug
your
dealer.
answer? What's your
Oh my
answer,
gosh.
woman?
I mean, I don't really have a preference for like. I mean,
What
are
they
you
do.
in danger? Are you putting me in danger?
He's a perk head drug dealer.
Like,
Yes, he's
you
in
know,
danger.
like-
he goes
I don't
out
know,
to
either
get
or.
drunk.
His 9-to-5 ain't putting you in no danger.
He has.
I don't even date a 9-to-5 nigga now.
Don't you got a 9-to-5?
I do. Oh, I said he's not 9-to-5 because he's a nurse.
Unless you got a 9-to-9, ain't
Literally, it's worse. Like it's the worst schedule.
To backtrack a bit, because I never answered the.
Ooh, child.
So I just be over there emoting randomly. Like, what?
Sound like you just finished what you was eating.
That's
Like you just had a good meal.
how bad is the perk addiction? Really?
That's what she said.
That's a crazy question.
That was a crazy question. It's a crazy question.
That was a delay. Like, but yeah, I never answered the question of if I could live a fulfilled life. If I had to
do that.
Mhm.
For me, the answer is definitely no.
Yeah.
It's a big no. And I'm trying to find the right way to put this. It's no because, for one, unlike Andrew, who I think he's got the right idea, he's doing it the right way. Things that I genuinely want, desire, maybe even need, are not a part of my dream. Like wedding, man. I'll give you an example. Family. Not like having my own, having any.
You already have one.
You can lose family. Like,
that is true.
yeah, I've seen it happen. I got a homie right now. He can't talk to none of his people. He just be on Instagram like,
That's terrible.
I miss my people.
Oh, you missed them too?
Yeah.
That's,
But you always miss them when you're in the wrong.
Oh, okay.
oh,
yeah.
dang. So
Yeah.
it was his fault.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think they dragged it, but it's like when you establish a pedigree of just being like a terrible person, and we decide that this is a straw that broke the camel back, you can't be like this tiny straw. It's
Right.
like the camel's back was broke already, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the rubber bands around the watermelon.
Exactly, precisely. And so, but yeah, family, being the best version of me. Being even a better version than I am right now. These are all things I want, desire, and I know that I need them, but they are not a part of my dream.
They sold separately?
And not only are they not a part of my dream, but if God was like, you can have your dream or them, I would pick my dream. And that's how I know that the things that are most important in life are not most important to me. Now, a lot of people would probably be like, well, what is your dream if you don't know? And of course, like everybody knows at this point, like I'm a rapper, I'm an actor, I'm a writer. But I guess my dream, if I had to nutshell it, again, it's so specific and it's so vast and it's so big, it's really not even possible for me to nutshell it. But I used to be like, I want to be one of the greatest artists ever. And whereas that is like true, that's not my dream. It's one of the specific visions of my dream. But my dream is to use the giftings and talents bestowed upon me to make life in all its complexities and difficulties easier for the people that need it to be and don't really have any other source by which it can be easier. Essentially like people like me. And I plan to do that in a myriad of ways that, and there are ways that I'm going to do it that I can't even fathom right now. But if I'm not being an artist and making great, super dope, amazing art and telling stories that matter and that move people and that help people and having that impact on people, I'm like lost. Cause like that is all that I am to me. And like I am a son and a friend and you know, a brother and a confidant and I'm sure I'm all of those things. But like those things happen to me. And I'm just playing those roles well.
Yeah. You got
This
put into
is
that place.
that is the thing that's in me. And the reason why it's like you can have, if God was like you can have all of those beautiful, most important things, or you can have your dream. Like when I say most important, I'm saying like what most people understand and generally believe, and I believe the wisest and most correct people also. Like the reason why I can is because like all of those things kind of lead into that question that you were asking Andrew, and I like gave all those examples, and like with that, like they would lose their luster, they would lose their color and their texture and their ability to fill the void if I didn't also have this. Because like again, like being a husband or a father or a community leader or whatever my occupation is or whatever, like those are just things that can happen to me. They're just variables and context. They're conditions, and they can be beautiful and they can fill my life with all the love and joy and happiness that a life needs. but it won't be my life. It'll be a life. My life needs this because that's what I am. And if I'm not like that, then I'm not me. And if I'm not me, I'm only going to hate or resent myself for starving myself and not filling that void. And then that will probably lead to me projecting that onto those things, those beauties that I was gifted. Because I'll just look at them and I'll, you know, like that parent that's like, that had a kid young and then won't stop reminding their child about how like,
You ruined
my body, or
Yeah.
I used to be this, or I was going to do this.
I had dreams before you.
And it's just like, I can't ever be that guy. And maybe it won't even manifest itself like in that kind of manner, but it'll leak in some way, in some fashion, in some form.
You'll feel that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might not go to one recital out of the whole season, and that's the one where they smash it, and Pops was into like it'll find a way to matter, not just to leak in the matter, but it'll matter too.
Yeah.
And I want to have it all, right?
Yeah.
I need to have it all.
Yeah.
But like, it's not all in my dream.
I get that.
And
I have a question though.
yeah.
Is there a timeline? Is it time sensitive? Because if you're not you without this dream, I mean, you don't have it yet.
Yeah.
So when does it get to the point where, okay, I should have it by now, or I'm not gonna be me?
Well, here's what I've always felt like. I don't have a number, I don't have a metric. But one of the questions that I asked, and we're not gonna be able to get to it, well, I mean, there's still enough questions for us if we want to do a part 2 on this topic, which is totally. But one of the questions that I had was.
No,
No, we're gonna talk about next time.
oh, that's great.
Just write your answers in and
I'm gonna call in for sure.
We're gonna CGI him and use AI to answer all the questions.
No, AI be making people do some very. Listen, just know it wasn't. Hey, listen, I didn't do that.
But one of the questions was, is it ever okay to give up on your dream? And my answer to that, and we can dive into deeper because it was both general and personal. My answer to that is yes. In fact, I think some people need to give up on their dream. I'm serious, but kind of reaching to like how long do I have before it's like I'm not me? I don't know. Because if you ask like 11-year-old me, I'm way past the marker.
Yeah.
Like right now. And if you ask 19-year-old me who was already past the marker, he can't fathom that I'm this old and don't have my dream. So I don't know what number or thing it is specifically, but I do know me. And unless a lot of things about how my neuron wiring system changed drastically, or the overwhelming healing of Jesus does its big one on the brother's brain. You know what I mean? I will give up at some point. And my giving up is like not good. 'Cause I'm not gonna like just stop chasing. I'm gonna
Stop.
yeah.
That's good.
And that's not like the only reason why I would do that. It's just
Why are we laughing? Well, no, I want to laugh too, but I don't know why.
I don't know, maybe because I speak about it.
It's probably the way,
jovially.
kind of cavalier. Like,
Because it's kind of cavalier, and it's not cavalier whatsoever.
It's not.
I just think I spent so much of my life not talking about being depressed that now I'm just like nobody's gonna like let me or make me feel like weird about talking about it, if that makes sense.
That's true.
No matter the context or the way that I do it. And like I got a lot of homegirls with dead dads, and they be like making dead dad jokes, and I just be like, good on them. Like if that's your thing, that's your thing, you know. Shout out to all my homegirls with dead dads.
Wow.
It's a lot of them. It's like
crazy shout out.
6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. R.I.P.
Rest in peace to all of the
for
fathers
sure.
as well.
Crazy.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, so I just wouldn't there's no way I'd look up and be like, I'm fulfilled. And I've had not this exact conversation, but a similar conversation with someone at my old job that was like, it wasn't necessarily like using the word dream, but they were kind of just like, well, if you feel like you like also want like the love and the health and the family and this and that and the third, like, why don't you just put those things in your dream? And I was like, because my dream is so important to me that if somehow those things are antipodal or stand as an obstacle to my dream, and having them in my dream makes my dream unachievable, that cannot happen for me.
Mm-hmm.
So my dream is exactly what it needs to be, with no room for extra.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm glad you cleared up that doesn't mean you don't want those things.
I don't. I want them so bad. And again, it's not even just want. I believe I need them.
Yeah.
But we don't always get what we need.
We do not.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's true.
It's the YSO Podcast, man. A podcast for the
Yeah.
youth, by the youth, being a voice to the youth, by giving a voice to the youth, for youth, by youth. You know how the game go. And you know where you can find me on all social media at the Goon of June.
You officially, they all match?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
They
making
all-
progress.
They all match. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the Goon of June, Saint Even. Look up the music. Son of a Gun still out now. Go stream my EP. Yeah. Let the people know where they can find you, Mr. Hokey Pokey.
You feel me? You can find me on Instagram at GUFE.TY. Or on TikTok at TYSMOOVEY, TySmoove. It was such a pleasure being here, guys. Such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was definitely a pleasure having you.
Yes.
You know, we'll have you back unless our fans are like, get that out of here.
Yeah, we're going to put a poll.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
we're gonna
Definitely
do
gonna put a poll up.
I'm about to make 13 accounts. We need him.
Why this account with no followers? Just write me a dissertation on how Tyler is a key quintessential form.
And why the 3 other ones just got 1 letter change?
He didn't even bother to switch it up enough.
Who is at Frosted Flakes DM?
Nah, but I switched it because I also had a Honey Bunches of Oats demon to throw y'all off my tracks. You know what I mean?
After he said he don't eat those.
Come on, bro.
He'll be arguing with himself from the pages.
Come on. Nah, actually, I think TySmoove overrated. Shut up, no, What? What is happening here? Ash,
my
let the people
God.
know where they can find you.
You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ashton Gates with 2 S's.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at _skip to my shoe. And you can follow my producer page on Instagram at prodbyck.tve.
And you can find the podcast on Instagram at YSO Podcast, on Twitter at YSO_podcast, and on TikTok at YSO Podcast. And of course, watch the YouTube Youth Speak Out podcast. Subscribe to any of your podcast listening services. Find us on those. You already know what it is, man. It's another great episode. This was a banger.
Yes.
Watch this with
Also,
your mother, your
We will
niece.
be having our first live show. The link to buy tickets will be in the description box. Click the link, please. $10
She
only.
wants you to say it again for her video, but it's gonna look weird on the actual
It's
episode.
okay.
That means somebody else said it.
No, Ashton.
Okay, you guys, we are
I'm
having
trying to
our
fix
first
it.
live
She
show
said,
May 19th at 8:00 p.m. There will be a link in the description box for you guys to buy tickets. They're $10 only. It's going to include food and drinks, so please come out and support us. We would love to have you there.
Regular drinks like juice and water.
Yeah, no alcohol.
Definitely BYOB. But
Not
with that-
BYOW.
Yeah, leave that at home. We gonna have
7:30.
we gonna have
Don't tell
a
me 8 o'clock.
we gonna have a dog at the front door sniffing.
I said,
And
not
if you put it in
BYW. I thought it was included. I said, oh,
It's
it's
gonna be
included.
one of my cousins.
And if you put it in the baby's diaper, oh well. That's not our fault.
Oh my
With
God.
that being said,
Did I tell you about the one time I went to the underground and there was a couple with their infant child
you
going
did
to a
tell
concert?
me. I don't know if you told me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I was thoroughly upset.
But yeah, you already know what it is.
In the underground. It's called
We
the